It's a beautiful day to meet you again this Monday, and among the stories outlined for you is the Haiti issue. As Kenya delayed its police deployment to the Caribbean nation, a topic you can't afford to miss. But first, good afternoon, this is the ambassador. With me, your ambassador, Jennifer Macau. Now, as you get to the start, let's first of all check on Uganda that is facing an uphill battle against the yellow fever, a deadly mosquito-borne disease, through the government launching a mass vaccination campaign. Though nonetheless, hesitancy among the population left the doses unused. The goal was to vaccinate millions, but low participation forced an extension of the program following a similar campaign in 2023 that also fell short. Yellow fever is a serious threat, especially in Africa. Over WHO estimating up to 170,000 severe cases occurring annually with a high mortality rate, while Uganda is classified at a highest risk for the disease. The Ugandan government is now determined to overcome the misinformation and increase vaccination rates to protect the population from this potentially deadly virus. Here is more.
It was low in the first week because people were doubting about the vaccine. They thought, why is the government introducing the campaign of yellow fever? They had the queries like the government wants to give them expired vaccines.
Yellow fever, though you might talk about it, few people may have seen it, may have seen a patient of yellow fever, may have lost a patient of yellow fever. It's not like, for example, like malaria. Malaria, almost every household will know what you're talking about. But the yellow fever is not the same, although the threat can be bigger. So educating the public is even more difficult, because if I've not seen the disease, I've not seen a neighbor with the disease, I've not seen, I don't know anyone who has died of the disease, somehow I have the feeling that I'm not at threat.
Now let's move to Burkina Faso, as the Burkina Faso military junta extended its transition period by 5 years following national consultations held in the capital, Ouagadougou, on May 25th. The discussion included representatives from civil society, security forces, and transitional lawmakers. Through most political parties did not participate. The decision was announced by Colonel Musa Diallo, the chairman of the organizing committee of the national dialogue process. Burkina Faso has been under military rule since September 2022, when the current junta led by Captain Ibrahim Traore overthrew the previous military regime that ousted democratically elected President Roch Marc Kabore 8 months prior. The transitional government has operated under a constitution approved by National Assembly that included army officers, civil society groups, and traditional and the religious leaders, with the initial goal being to hold elections by July 2024, as well as restore democratic governance. However, the junta has struggled to address the security issues that justified their takeover, as nearly half of the country territory remained outside the government control due to the escalating attacks by the extremist groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. Now, moving on to the story of Haiti, Kenya planned a deployment of police officers to help quell the violence in Haiti that has been delayed through an advance team that arrived in Haiti last Tuesday, returning home on Monday, recommending a postponement of the mission. Kenya President William Ruto announced a 3-week delay to the mission through a senior official who was part of the advance team, stating that the base where the police would be stationed was only 70% complete, while a secure storage for weapons was also a pressing need. Now, the Kenya official stated of the logistical issues being behind the delay through key infrastructures like bases for the officers still under construction, while additionally crucial resources, including vehicles, were needed before the deployment could commence. The United States pledged $300 million to support a multinational force in Haiti, a force expected to include not only Kenyan officers, but also the police from Jamaica, the Bahamas, Antigua, and the Barbuda, and potentially other countries. Haiti has a long history of poverty, political instability, and natural disasters, facing a surge in gang violence, and a UN peacekeeping mission was deployed in 2004 and was marred by controversy, including allegations of sexual abuse and the introduction of cholera through the mission ending in 2017. Now we are going to take you more deeper on this story of Haiti. Now, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa promised significant investment in skill training to boost the economic declaration he made on Saturday during the ANC final rally ahead of the country's main election on May 29th. The ANC has been under unprecedented pressure to keep hold of its parliamentary majority in Africa's most advanced country, through the ANC president stating they were collaborating closely with various stakeholders to put an end to the imminent electricity power crisis. Several polls of the ANC support less than 50%, raising the possibility that it would lose its majority this time, an initiative that could push them to form a national coalition in order to stay in the government. Here is more.
We are also going to spend quite a lot of money, billions, training people to get skills that can be best used in our economy, because our objective is to create quality jobs, and in order to do so, we want to build industries, we want to localize so that more and more products are made here in South Africa. Also end load shedding. We will complete the work that is the excellent work that has already been done, yes, to tackle our electricity crisis.
Now let's see more on the South Africa elections as supporters of South Africa MK party gathered for a significant rally in KwaZulu-Natal on Saturday, just few days before the crucial elections on May 29th, through the MK party funded by former President Jacob Zuma, aiming to make a substantial impact on the upcoming vote. Zuma, now who is 82 years old, resigned as president in 2018 amid corruption allegations, but remained as a center of figure in the party. At the rally, fervent supporters endorsed the party's vision for South Africa over individuals like Sibonso Gwala, a staunch follower of the Umkhonto weSizwe party, speaking about the party's widespread appeal and its dedication to liberation. The upcoming election is posed to be a South Africa most significant in 30 years, posing of the most greatest challenges to the ANC long-standing rule since the end of the apartheid in 1994. The MK party motto seemed to be clear and determined to reshape the political landscape with Jacob Zuma at the helm. Here is more.
Before guns arrived, we used to wield spears. Everyone had a spear to protect their homes. So the spear is what will liberate this country. MK showcase will win the country. I can't speak about the ANC because they have their own ideas. I can't speak about the EFF because they too have their own ideas. But MK will liberate black people.
Our candidate is one. That is Comrade President Jacob Zuma. And that's why we are saying our masses, and we are working very hard, that our masses must go out in their numbers and make sure that we win these elections with two-thirds majority. And through that process, we can then ensure that the only person that the South Africans want to see as the president of this country get elected when we go to parliament.
Now everyone seems to be doing their best in South Africa to ramp up their rallies. Now as dozens of economic freedom fighters, the EFF supporters gathered at the stadium in Polokwane, South Africa for the party's final election rally throughout South Africa's 4 main political parties concluding their campaigns ahead of what could be the pivotal election, marking a potential turning point for the country after 30 years. Malema, the first fiery leader of the EFF, thanked his supporters for their unwavering backing, claiming a successful campaign, unemployment and poverty remaining critical issues for South Africa, with a joblessness rate of 32%, the highest globally, and over a half of the population living in poverty. The election began with a special voting on Friday, May 17th, at 9 South African missions abroad, which would be followed by the main elections on May 29th across all provinces, determining the composition of both national and provincial legislatures.
I am here to conclude the campaign of the EFF. I am here to say to you, we have run a good race. We are here today because we ran a very successful campaign. The ground forces of the EFF have made everybody aware that there is a child called the EFF who must be given an opportunity to lead. Now, the people of South Africa must decide if they want unemployment. They must decide if they want load shedding. They must decide if they want to remain landless. The people of South Africa, it is now in your hands. We live here very proud that we did everything to make our generation very proud.
Yes, South Africa must decide. It is time for the nation to make a sober decision. And that international news brings us to our first break. There is more coming up for you. Next, we'll talk about the United Nations states who rejected the ICC arrest warrant for Israeli leaders, and the UN dialogue on migration and the wolf. That is what the Slovak Interior Minister said, that the wolf alone was not involved in the attack of the official involvement. And we're also going to talk about the World Health Emergencies updates and the climate-related hunger crisis according to the WFP World Food Program report. We have this and more lined up for you shortly after the break. Stay tuned with us.
So through the 4 gospel books, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, John, we can know the heart of Jesus in depth.
그리고 우리가 느끼는 그 예수님을 성경을 통해 느낄 수 있어서 너무 감사합니다.
And the Jesus that we can feel him through the scriptures, and I'm very thankful about that. Jesus Christ came to this earth for our
죄를
sins.
지셨고
He carried our sins,
십자가에 못 박혀 죽어 죄의 형벌을 당하셨고
and he was crucified, and he received the punishment for sins,
무덤에 들어가셨다가
and he was put into the tomb
사흘 만에 부활하셨습니다.
and resurrected in 3 days.
이것이 우리가 말하는 복음입니다.
This is the gospel that we speak.
예수님께 우리 죄를 위해 죽으신 이야기.
About how Jesus died for our sins. The purpose of Jesus being
우리
crucified.
죄를 담당하기 위하여 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으셨습니다.
He was crucified to pay for our sins.
예수 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으심으로 우리 죄가 분명히 씻어졌는데
And through Jesus being crucified, clearly our sins have been washed clean.
참 안타깝게도 많은 사람은 여전히 죄인이라고 말합니다.
However, unfortunately, many people still say that they are sinners.
Everywhere, GBS.
Now, Kenya planned the deployment of police officers to help quell the violence in Haiti has been delayed through an advance team that arrived in Haiti last Tuesday, returning home on Monday, recommending a postponement of the mission. Kenya President William Ruto announced a 3-day week delay to the mission through the senior official who was part of the advance team, stating that the base where the police would be stationed was only 70% complete, while a secure storage for the weapons was also a pressing need. Now, the Kenya officials stated of the logistical issues being behind the delay through key infrastructures, like bases for the officers still under construction, while additionally crucial resources, including vehicles, were in need before the deployment could commence. Now, the United States pledged $300 million to support multinational force in Haiti, a force expected to include not only Kenyan officers, but also police from Jamaica, the Bahamas, and Antigua. We are talking also of Barbuda and potentially other countries. Haiti has a long history of poverty, political instability, and natural disasters, facing a surge in gang violence, and a UN peacekeeping mission deployed in 2004 was marred by controversy, including allegations of sexual abuse and the introduction of cholera through the mission, ending in 2017. Now, as we take you through the story of Haiti today, we are joined by our cross-border political reporter. He has been following this story and would like to take you more deeper and give you an insight on the same. And that person is Davis Karani. Hello, Davis Karani. Can you hear me clearly?
Hello, Jennifer. I get you clearly, and thank you for this opportunity.
How are you? How is Haiti? How is everything there?
Yes, we are trying at Haiti. Actually, the situation and the condition at Haiti is hectic, but I think when the police will be deployed in this country, I believe that peace will be restored in Haiti.
Now, taking you through the first concern and the question, Mr. Davis Karani, what could have delayed this deployment? Because it looked like the country had prepared everything. What could have delayed this deployment?
You know, before the police officers are deployed to a particular country, there must be a place for them to stay. So because there was an incomplete military base for the police officers to reserve themselves in Haiti. So because of that, Kenya could not deploy the police officers in that country. Then also we have we had the logistical issues in terms of transportation of weapons and then the movement of the troops to Haiti. So that was a big challenge that faced Kenya, and therefore it had to seek support from the US, who came on board to ensure that they support Kenya in terms of completing their journey and their deployment of the troops to Haiti. Thank you.
So this majorly could have caused the delay. Now, what is the deal between US and Kenya to deploy the police in Haiti? Don't forget about the controversies, but what is the deal behind US and Kenya in this mission?
Yes, the deal between the two countries is actually it's $300 million US dollars, and that is a benefit that Kenya will gain, and I think by that, that means that Kenya will now be in a position to deploy its security officers into Haiti to ensure that peace is restored in that country.
That is the deal between them.
Yes.
Now let us check on also what is Kenya going to gain in this deal? What does Kenya stand to gain in this deal between the Haiti issue and the US and all this collaboration? What does it stand? What is in for Kenya?
It is a good question. It is a good question, and I really appreciate, because through this Kenya will gain a lot, considering the fact that Kenya is a country, a third world country, but apart from it being a third world country, it has shown that it is in a position of ensuring that it cares for its neighbors. So Kenya, first of all, its troops or its security officers will gain another experience because they'll be given that advanced training. Then also, Kenya as a country will be given the incentive to ensure that they support their own troops when they are deploying them into Haiti. So it is a big win for Kenya. I'll say that because apart from just gaining that training and then getting that experience, because Kenya now will be on a worldwide based in terms of United Nations rankings in terms of security dealings. So Kenya will now be ranked as one of the countries that is willing to offer its security personnel to ensure that there is peace and peace is restored worldwide in every part of the world. So it is an important thing that Kenya will gain, and I think this will boost the economy of this country.
If I don't get you wrong, this is all about heroism, right?
Yes.
Heroism is the big picture of it, apart from other benefits.
Yes.
Okay, now also the political, not just the political, the issue on the ground on Haiti. Not forgetting this is a country that is led by gangs. So what is the issue on the ground pertaining Haiti and all this? What is the standard? What is the situation on Haiti on the ground?
You know, thank you, Jennifer, for that question. At first, you know, Haiti is a country that has never had had a military base in its own. That is why there was that delay in terms of constructing a military base in Haiti, and Kenya could not deploy its security personnel into Haiti because of such challenges. So because it's a country that had been ruled by gangs, so I think when Kenya will deploy its security personnel into Haiti, it means that peace can be restored, because it's not only Kenya that will deploy its security personnel, but there are some other countries that have come on board to ensure that they support this, and by this I believe that Haiti will restore its peace back, and it will be an established country for its development. So it is an important thing, and it's a benefit for Haiti as a country.
Well, if I get that, thank you so much for answering all this, Davis Karani. You stay safe, and thank you so much for the information. Now, that was our cross-boundary political reporter, Davis Karani. And as you all know, that Haiti, the Caribbean nation, is a nation that is ruled by gangs, and also sending police officers to the ground. This is what has been preparation, that even the U.S. was able to send some of the troops to be able to go and prepare the ground for the Kenyan police officers. And those who went and they came back, they say that it is not yet ready. So they need like 2 weeks to be able to prepare even more. Don't forget that in this nation that Prime Minister Ariel Henry was able to resign after there was so much quagmire. And as a country that is led by gang, also there's a council that was formed. After Ariel Henry was able to resign, they say that if a council comes up, he will be able to give his resignation. He kept his word. But after he kept his word, now the troops are going there to keep peace. We'll keep you more updated on the same as we continue on the story. Thank you so much, Davis Karani. Now, as we move on our international stories, at a Jewish heritage celebration on Monday, the United States President Joe Biden strongly denounced the International Criminal Court, ICC, prosecutor's decision to seek arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Biden stated that the charges did not constitute genocide, and there was no equivalence between the actions of Israeli leaders and those of Hamas. The ICC prosecutor Karim Khan announced on Monday that he was pursuing an arrest warrant for Netanyahu, Gallant, and the Hamas leaders, including Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Diab, and Ismail Haniyeh, on charges of war and crimes. Netanyahu condemned the ICC's absurd and false order, calling it an anti-Semite and a complete distortion of reality, as Hamas also criticized the ICC, accusing it of equating victims with aggressors. Here is more.
Let me be clear. We reject the ICC's application for arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Whatever these warrants may imply, there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. Semitism, Deborah, you all, where is Deborah here? And it's clear. Israel wants to do all it can to ensure civilian protection. But let me be clear. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening is not genocide. We reject that. We're going to always stand with Israel and the threats against its security.
The United States fundamentally rejects the announcement today from the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court that he is applying for arrest warrants for senior Israeli officials together with warrants for Hamas terrorists. There should be no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. None. Hamas is a brutal terrorist organization that carried out the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust and is still holding dozens of innocent people hostage, including Americans. Furthermore, the United States has been clear since well before the current conflict that the ICC has no jurisdiction over this matter. The ICC was established by its state parties as a court of limited jurisdiction. These limits are rooted in principles of complementarity, which do not appear to have been applied here, amid the prosecutor's rush to seek these arrest warrants, rather than allowing the Israeli legal system a full and timely opportunity to proceed. There are also deeply troubling process questions. Despite not being a member of the court, Israel was prepared to cooperate with the prosecutor and had made that clear. In fact, the prosecutor himself was scheduled to visit Israel as early as next week to discuss the investigation and hear from the Israeli government. The prosecutor's staff was supposed to land in Israel today to coordinate the visit, and instead, Israel was informed that the prosecutor's staff didn't get on their flight around the same time that the prosecutor himself went on television to announce these charges. These circumstances call into question the legitimacy and credibility of this investigation.
And in Bratislava, Slovak Interior Minister Matus Sujak Estok suggested that the recent shooting of Prime Minister Robert Fico might not have been the work of a lone wolf, indicating possible involvement on the third party, a statement coming ahead of the crucial security meeting that was supposed to be on Wednesday. Defense Minister Robert Klinak echoed these concerns on Sunday, asserting a third-party involvement last Thursday. Estok emphasized that the authorities believe that the attack was politically motivated, citing reasons such as suspensions of military and aid to Ukraine and the abolition of Special Prosecutor's Office. Fico's government had faced backlash over new laws affecting public broadcasting, NGOs, and corruption, leading to protests through the 59-year-old elected for his fourth term in September 2023, being a vocal opponent of the EU's sanctions on Russia and military aid to Ukraine, advocating for peace negotiations instead. Moving on, the International Organization for Migration, IOM, is calling for a fundamental change in how countries approach migration. IOM spokesperson Peggy Walters, speaking at a press conference in New York on Tuesday, emphasized on the importance of migration as a force of good, setting migration has been along a vital driver of connection, cultural exchange, and economic growth. However, Walters acknowledged the challenges posed by the conflict, climate change, and economic instability, through millions displaced by these threats, facing increased vulnerabilities across migration routes. In addition to the policy discussions, the IOM also announced the appointment of artist and activist America Ferrera as a global goodwill and also as an ambassador. Here is more.
Migration has long served as a vital force in connecting our world, fostering cultural exchange, driving societal enrichment, and catalyzing growth and innovation. It has been acknowledged as a cornerstone of the 2023 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration. Conflict, climate change, and economic fragility often delays progress towards sustainable development. It has faltered, with forced migration at its highest levels. Millions are displaced by the ravages of climate change, facing compounding vulnerabilities along migration routes. This underscores the urgent need for a paradigm shift in terms of how we approach migration. Thank you for that question. So just briefly, what we're trying to do is pull together our member states and key participants to raise the dialogue on how we can shift policy and approaches. So we're hoping that once the end of this conference happens, and along with our other key conversations with our member states, we'll be working closely with them.
Now, the WHO organization, the World Health Organization, is sounding the alarm about the deteriorating health situation in Gaza through Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, speaking recently in Geneva, outlining the severe consequences of the ongoing conflict. Dr. Tedros highlighted the critical situation in Al-Wada hospital north of Gaza, which was trapped in fighting. He also reported the disruptions to the care of the Kawal Adwan hospital due to the nearby hostilities, stating there was only 2 functional hospitals remaining in the region. He underlined on the urgent need for a ceasefire to allow aid to flow in Gaza, calling on Israel to lift the blockade and to ensure essential supplies reached those in need. Here is more.
There's a huge commitment on behalf of our member states to take this forward now. But the devil is in the detail, and that detail is currently being discussed between the member states. This is an agreement between member states. This is a collective security arrangement. This will allow us to better prevent, better prepare, and better respond.
In North Gaza, the Al-Auda hospital remains under siege since Sunday. Inside, 148 hospital employees, including administrators, health workers, cleaners, and volunteers, along with 22 patients and their companions, remain trapped. This is the second time Al Auda Hospital has been besieged since the beginning of the conflict. During the war, the hospital has suffered significant losses, including the deaths of 14 employees and injuries to dozens more. Intense hostilities near Kamal Adwan Hospital have compromised its ability to provide care and made it harder for patients to reach. These are the only two functional hospitals remaining in northern Gaza. Ensuring their ability to deliver health services is imperative. People have been given an impossible choice of staying in a place that's being attacked or moving to another place, which is also.
Now, moving on, extreme weather events linked to El Nino and the climate crisis are causing widespread hunger around the world through the warmer temperatures and erratic weather patterns, leading to more frequent and severe droughts, floods, and tropical cyclones. In South Africa, millions have been facing hunger due to severe drought conditions, as well as crops have been failing. Same time, livestock death being inevitable. The flooding in Afghanistan has displaced people and destroyed homes, while the Democratic Republic of Congo has been experiencing heavy flooding, with farmlands swept away and food becoming scarce. Now, the impacts are expected to last for months, even after El Nino subsides, whereas La Nina and the cooling phase of the climate phenomena could bring additional challenges. Listen in.
Out of the three big drivers of hunger, conflicts, economic shocks, climate extremes, the climate dimension is the one that can be most reliably predicted, and that also goes for the El Nino related droughts and floods. So we have what it takes to forecast these damaging events. We have what it takes to protect lives before they need saving. But what we need to do is to make these systems and processes accessible and available also in fragile contexts where people are usually disconnected from these services.
Well, for sure, we need to get a solution to all these crises. And that international news brings us to the end of our Ambassador GBS Global News. It's been a pleasure having you on board, joining us to the end. We'll keep you more updated here at the Ambassador, where we bring you the latest developments as you keep it locked with us. I've been your Ambassador, Jennifer Macau, and I'm looking forward to seeing you same time at the Ambassador GBS Global, tomorrow same time, same place, from Monday to Friday at 1 p.m. And may you all have a superb and the most beautiful and a wonderful afternoon. See you then.